A beautiful, warm, sunny morning in autumn is the perfect time to get to work on your strawberry patch. So that's exactly what I'm getting up to today. In this video, I'm going to show you things that I do to keep my strawberry patch ticking over year after year. Oops. So with that in mind, let's get started. Strawberry plants are relatively easy to grow, but every couple of years your patch will benefit from a bit of care, especially if it's looking as tight as mine. So today I'll be starting the process of refreshing my strawberry bed, and I'll be making the most of runners to get new fruit plants. So this is not a task you'll do all in one day. First, I need to pot up a few runners, and I'll need to give them a few weeks to grow roots before they're ready to plant out. So there's not actually that much hands-on time investment, and it's a really rewarding job in the end to see your patch all clean and tidy. So by refreshing the bed and using young runners, we keep everything growing nice and strong plants will give you more fruit. I really like to do this job in autumn. The weather is just, it's still warm enough for these little plants to establish their roots before winter comes and it gets too cold. So with all this talk about runners, I thought maybe I should show you what one is. So you see the plant sends out these long viney things, and each, at the end of each one, it will try form a crown, and if it touches the soil, it will try to form little roots. So this one hasn't quite got roots, but if I pot it up, if I put this one in a pot, these little roots will form within a few weeks. And once the roots are formed, I'll be able to snip it off the mother plant, and then I'll be able to replant it. Now, quite often, the runner will touch the soil, and it will just start growing like a new baby plant. So not all of these runners have roots on them yet, like this one here. It's trying to put them down, but this is not enough to sustain the plant on its own. So I'll need to keep the attachment still to the mother plant, and I will pot it. So just sort of pop it in there, not too deep. So I'm just going to use this little piece of wire and just poke it in there just to sort of pin down the plant so that it doesn't fall out while it's waiting for the roots to grow. So generally when I'm doing this task, I just like to use a good quality soil mix. In my case, I'm using a pre-mixed strawberry mix that I've brought. I just always feel like a good quality soil is really the key to giving your plants the best start in life. And as far as the containers go, I just like to use whatever I have on hand. So I'm just using these little cardboard biodegradable tubs that I had left over from last year. But you don't have to use these. You could just use some recycled old, large yogurt tubs or just whatever you have in hand. I'll be using some plastic planter bags as well. I also have this 6-pack punnet that was a container that came with some plants I planted last year. So the goal here really isn't, to waste too much money. You just you just need something to hold the plants temporarily while you're waiting for, the roots to really get established. Whenever I'm doing this too, I like to keep in mind that I should, always plant up a few more than what I think I'll need. And this is just in case, some of the little plants don't really take or they die. And if they all succeed, you have plants to share with your friends or your family. And there's usually a recommendation, a suggestion that you should aim to have about 5 plants per person. So I'm looking for 20 plants plus a few extras. So you can see that using runners is a really great way to refresh your strawberry bed because, now I don't have to go and buy 20 plus plants. I've already got them here in my garden. So I'm basically done now. I think I found all of the plants that I need, and now I basically just have to wait. It's going to take a couple of weeks for these little runners to form good solid roots that can sustain themselves, and basically I will come back in a few weeks and I'll snip them all off from their mother plant, and I'll set them aside while I completely clear out this garden patch. Right, so I'm back now 3 weeks later. I would have loved to have got out here a little bit sooner, but it has been raining a lot. And the temperature is dropping fast, so I should really get this job finished before winter starts. So these little runners that I've potted up, they should be in a good position now with roots that are strong enough to sustain the plants. So what I can do is I'm just going to get my scissors and cut off all the connections to their mother plants. Then I'm going to completely empty this garden bed, and I'm going to get fresh new compost, fill it up, and then replant with my beautiful baby runners. So I'm just using ordinary scissors, and I'm just going to snip all these cords. Okay, so now the messy part begins, where I'm going to pull out all of these plants. And I will probably dry them out and then put them in my compost, so in the end nothing's really going to waste. Okay, now that this is empty, I'm going to put in a bunch of new soil. So what's in this mix? It says it's got chicken horse sheep manure, organic matter, lime, seaweed extract, and trace elements. But you can see that this looks really beautiful. I think the plants will be quite happy with that. This soil just looks beautiful. Take a look at this. There's something that's just really satisfying about seeing a fresh bed of soil or compost down in your garden. It just looks so clean. It's like having a fresh canvas. Okay, now the fun part of planting my little baby runners. I suppose I should figure out how many I can actually fit in here. Originally I wanted 20, but I will see if it fits. So this was the first one I planted. I showed you that it had no roots. So I'll just peel off its cardboard liner, and I can see, yep, there you go, you can see that the roots have started to grow. Oopsies. I'll pull out this piece of wire so that it's not stuck in my garden. I'm going to throw this back in my compost. You could probably keep these on, but I feel like it slows down the growth of the plant when you keep these biodegradable liners on them. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I think I can safely put 21 in here. It'll be perfect. So when doing this, you don't want to bury these too deep. Just cover the roots, but not the crown. Good. Well, this one's actually looking... This one's not looking too good. Some of the leaves have started to rot, and it barely developed roots. I might give up on this one, and I'll replace it with one of these other ones that I just found. Beautiful. Look at that. This is all replanted with runners. I didn't have to buy a single new plant, and they're all looking quite healthy and beautiful. Now, I didn't do this all in one day, but really it didn't take that much hands-on time investment. And it's really satisfying to see your garden looking all reset and clean. These are going to take a little while to settle in over winter, but come spring they'll be bursting into life. They'll be beautiful, green and bushy. They'll be ready for a summer of fresh strawberries. What I will probably do in spring, once they start to flower, I will cover them with some straw mulch. I won't bother doing it right now because our winters are so wet that the mulch will just rot. But the mulch will just help lift the berries off the soil so that the slugs and worms don't eat them, because we have a real problem with these little wormy things eating the strawberries. So you need to keep them off the soil. But some simple straw will fix that problem. Another way that you can get free plants is from self-seeding plants. So this one has popped up all on its own. It seems to have grown from seed, most likely from, a bird stealing one of my berries and dropping it in this garden here. But lucky for me, I lost a berry but gained a plant. The other way is just growing through your fence from your neighbours. So I've got runners coming through our fence. Yeah. They're also growing all the way down here. Like underneath the fence.